అదే సార్ అదే.
చెక్ మైక్ టెస్ట్.
ఎస్ సార్. అదే సార్ అదే. సార్ అదే.
మైక్ టెస్టింగ్. చెక్. హలో. మైక్ టెస్టింగ్ 1 2 3.
प्रिंटर का टोनर हो गए भेजना होता ना मैं भी भेज। नहीं अभी बोलने को मत अभी बोल।
Test 1 2 3 ఉందా ఆఫ్ చేసేనా ఇది ఆఫ్ చేయనా ఉంచనా టెస్ట్ 1 2 3 టెస్ట్ 1 2 3 టెస్ట్ ఆఫ్ చేయనా
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, I now declare that all the Honorable Judges have assembled. With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, may I now request the Land President of the High Court Bar Association to commence his speech on behalf of legal fraternity.
My Lord, the Honorable Chief Justice, the Honorable Judges, Land Advocate General, and Additional Advocate General, respected Chairman, Bar Council of Andhra Pradesh, Land Deputy Solicitor General, Land Public Prosecutor, Law Officers of the State, Land Senior Advocates, colleague advocate friends. It is with a sense of grief on behalf of the Andhra Pradesh High Court Advocates Association, I stand before this Honorable Full Court to condole the sad demise of Sri Challa Sita Ramaiah Garu, designated Senior Advocate, who left us on 1st August 2022 at Hyderabad. Sri Challa Sita Ramaiah Garu was born on 25th September 1929 in Kakinada. He was the second child of Sri Kameshwar Rao and Sri Lakshmi Narasimha. He completed his schooling from Rishi Valley Residential School and obtained B.Com degree from Annamalai University and LLB from Madras University, Tamil Nadu, and started his practice at Madras. Upon formation of the state of Andhra Pradesh, he shifted his practice to Hyderabad. He was associated with Sri Venkateswara Shastri Garu prior to the commencement of his individual practice. Later on, after practicing for some time, shifted to Supreme Court, that is in the year 1983. Again returned to Hyderabad in the year 1996 and practiced extensively till 2019. Sri Challa Sita Ramaiah Garu, an erudite and virtuous individual, dedicated his life to the service of the legal profession. Law was his passion, guiding philosophy, and to a great extent his entire life and work. Very few people are aware of the many other talents and achievements of Sri Challa Sita Ramaiah Garu, which included arts and sports. His paintings and sketches were both extraordinary and beautiful, and they even got him an offer for an admission into a French university for arts, which although he chose, did not pursue to abide by his father's wishes. He was an avid reader with interests that varied from teachings of the Upanishads to the poetry of John Milton. He was also a well-recognized sportsman and cricketer at the university level during his college years, at which time he captained the university team also. During those years, he was also known for his great sense of style and fashion. He was an individual who believed in giving more than receiving. He implemented the philosophy from a very early age. He was deeply spiritual and believed in the oneness of God, and there was never a priest, Molavi, or a father who returned empty-handed from his house if ever seeks his help, either legal or otherwise. Innumerable temples, mosques and churches, gurudwaras received contributions from him for renovations, repairs, and so also did many NGOs for their charitable works. He was a regular contributor to the UNICEF and to the mouth and foot painting artists. Sri Challa Sita Ramaiah Garu is survived by his wife Srimati Shakuntala, daughter Jyotismati, and son Dr. Marut Atmaja. The bereavement is not only to the family but also to the entire legal fraternity. On this occasion, I, on behalf of the AP High Court Advocates Association, I pray the God Almighty for his soul to rest in peace.
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, may now request the Learned Advocate General to commence his speech on behalf of legal fraternity.
My Lords, the Honorable Chief Justice, my Lords, Honorable Judges, President Bar Association, Public Prosecutor, Deputy Solicitor General, Law Officers, Senior Counsel, Advocate Community, Registrars, and members of the bereaved family. The immediate visage that comes to my mind of Mr. Challa Ramaiah was his reclusiveness. He was, whenever I saw him, he was all by himself, seated in the sprawling judges' library which we used to have in the combined high court in the second floor. And he would be the lone person sitting to one corner of the table, poring over books, and he would have a very stern look on his face, almost amounting to a frown, and therefore none of us had the liberty to approach him or to know more about him. A few of my colleagues who have had interactions with him would say and would recall very fondly to me that he had a very soft side to himself and a man wedded to being appropriate and correct insofar as ethics in the profession is concerned and in regard to the propriety of behavior of lawyers. The one indication I had of his prowess in court was in one of those larger bench matters which was hearing a reservation batch in the year 2004. And while there were polarized positions on either side contesting the legitimacy of reservation being granted on purported religious grounds, Mr. Challa Ramaiah, and that was in the year 2004, held his own and laid threadbare the law, unmindful of whatever could be the level of appreciation or the popularity of his debate. It was the first situation that I got to know of his understanding. The unanimity in respect that a lawyer secures in the bar and the bench is about how different generation of honorable judges and members of the bar treat him. In about 30 years of his practice that I have come to know about, I have seen him being appointed in amicus curiae in at least 3 matters, and 2 of them are already quoted in almost all the high courts of the country. One was the judgment that I referred to in what is now called as Muslims reservation case, which has been now cited in Maharashtra and also in Bengal. Other is what we call as Mekala Pandu, the judgment of the larger bench, which went into the question of the entitlement of the assignees to how much of a market value of property that has been assigned to them and as to what could be their entitlement, as to whether it was a constitutional right, to which level it was elevated by the avid contribution of Mr. Challa Ramaiah, is still engaging the attention of the next 2 sets of generation of judges, including division benches of this honorable court. Such is the legacy of a few practitioners of law who can always rise beyond the cloud and thunder of the heat of the litigation that comes up before the parties and stand for themselves and state the position of law in true esteem. A man of varied interests, as I read, a cricketer, a painter, a reader, a philanthropist by himself, and a multidisciplinary content to his personality is what stands out. People of his ilk etch themselves into the memory of the people who interact with them, who received the grace and the blessings of the elderly gentleman, and students of law such as me would like to learn as to how each one of these geniuses approached different questions of law before different compositions of benches to be on a continuous path of learning. The family is bereaved. He had been out of a public visage since 2019 is what we get to understand on account of COVID. But fond memories would always remain to those people who have associated with them. And on behalf of the fraternity, I convey my deepest condolences to the surviving members of the family to bear with his loss. May God get him the Sadgati he richly earned.
I request my Lord the Honorable the Chief Justice to deliver your Lordship's speech.
High Court Advocates Association, the Honorable Public Prosecutor, the Honorable Deputy Solicitor General, law officers, senior advocates, members of the bar, officers of the family members of Sri Challa Ramaiah, ladies and gentlemen, we have assembled here to mourn the sad demise of Challa Ramaiah, senior advocate, who left us for heavenly abode on 1/8. Very difficult to speak about a person whom you do not know and never met him. But what the previous speakers, Mr. President and Mr. Advocate General, has said, and otherwise I have gathered, that he was a versatile personality and a man of varied interest and a very rare combination. A lawyer, a painter, a cricketer, a philanthropist. The faculties in him and the grey matter in him was such that whatever he opted for and chose to do, he was the master of that field. And that speaks about the personality in Mr. Challa Ramaiah. We will very rarely find a lawyer being a painter also. The art of advocacy and the art of painting rarely go together. Painting in court of law and painting on canvas are two different aspects of a man's personality. But still, Mr. Challa Ramaiah, we pay tribute to him of his personality, of his qualities, and the kind of man he was, very rare to find. And in the bar, whenever they are, wherever, till the moment they are, they decorate the bar as the shining lamp, and the future generation will always learn about him. And one more thing, from painting to advocacy and then to Mekalapandu. Though part of advocacy, but that was the greatness and the qualities of that man. I, my own behalf, and on behalf of my brother and sister Jays and the entire High Court, pay tribute to the departed soul and pray that the members of the bereaved family would bear the loss. May God give him Sadgati.
With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, may I now request all to observe silence for 2 minutes as a mark of respect to the departed soul. With the permission of my Lord, the Honorable the Chief Justice, may I now request your Lordship to announce that the court work for the remaining day shall remain suspended.
Yes, court work for the remaining days shall remain suspended.